So you've got a beautiful workspace. Every working and gaming session feels meaningful. But something's off. Nothing huge, just a small itch you can't scratch. One adjustment. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Mount accessories underneath things. It reduces clutter, improves aesthetic, and just makes your accessories more accessible. You'd be surprised how many setups I see where the docking station is just laid out haphazardly in the open at the opposite end of a desk. By mounting them, it gives them a more intentional resting spot, such as my dock here. And this is where accessories like desk shelves can come in handy. But a docking station isn't the only thing you can mount. You can mount charging stations, audio interfaces, and SD cards, like the one I got here. This is easily one of those little modifications that makes your space that much more efficient. While not the most necessary accessory, it is one of those nice to haves, especially if you've got a dual or hybrid setup like me. KVM switch stands for keyboard, video, and mouse switch, and they basically let you flip-flop peripheral connections while both computers are still active. KVM switches can get pretty expensive, but since I'm using it for just my mouse and keyboard, I went with this relatively affordable one. It comes with a button that I was able to mount underneath my desk for quick access. So now, if I need to respond to a work message in the middle of an edit session, I can, with just the touch of a button. A severely underrated setup hack that doesn't get talked about enough: get angled cables. Especially if you're using wired connections for your accessories like keyboards. What I find is that oftentimes, straight cables will bend and pull at the ports, and that's a fantastic recipe for breaking your hardware. Angled cables remove that problem, and also makes things easier to cable manage. I've got angled cables for both my USB-C and HDMI ports, and they've really helped clean up my setup. Plus, they're not that expensive. If you already have cables and don't want to get new ones, just get a converter head. Just make sure you have the right specs in case you need like high voltage charging or a certain transfer speed. Since we are already talking about cables, I'll get this one out of the way too. Retractable cables are a great way to keep your space clutter-free. I've seen some pretty interesting ways people have used them, mostly for charging stations. They're pretty easy to find individually on Amazon, or if you're like me and need to charge multiple things at once, this charging hub is a really solid desk accessory. This is called the Gitrion hub, and it's essentially 4 DC chargers that slot into one whole charging station. Each cable is retractable, so once I'm done charging, a simple tug and my space is freed up again. Shelves, trays, racks, you name it, it can be purposed as storage, which to me is a meaningful space for your gear and items. Storage looks a little different for everyone, but here's what I got going on. These budget-friendly UpErgo catch trays that also conveniently fit into most desk shelves, a walnut laptop holder also from UpErgo, the built-in horizontal tray that comes with the Grove-made studio pad for commonly used items like my pen and earbuds, a plastic sliding drawer underneath my desk for my tablet, a large catch-all tray for stuff I don't use often, and of course, the IKEA cabinet for cables, other accessories, and camera gear. Although this could definitely use some more organizing. Scent is one of your 5 senses, yet it's one we often forget about when trying to curate a holistic environment. Candles and diffusers are great ways to really change up the mood and coziness of your workspace. I personally prefer the lighter planty scents during the summer and the earthier grounded tones during colder seasons. I know, pretty bread and butter, but there's a reason why people like bread and butter. And who knows, maybe updating the way your space smells could be a complete game changer for productivity. Okay, so this is a cinematography term, but I think it actually applies really well here. In filmmaking, split toning is making the darker areas a different color than the highlights. So, for example, in this scene right here, I make the shadows blue and my skin tone a little orange. This creates contrast with color. It makes everything more interesting. And the same theory can apply to setups. For my moody backlighting, I like to use warmer orange colors. And for my task lighting, a bright cool light. This creates an interesting split in my workspace that enhances the overall feel, especially when I'm sitting immersed in the space. For me, it creates this feeling of warmth, how everything is embracing me, but highlighting myself as essentially the main character that's creating his story. I get it. I mentioned plants a lot. Plants add depth. All the plants that I get plants. But this time it's different. I'm referring to small plants. One of the biggest mistakes I made getting small plants like this early on was thinking that they were all the same. They are in fact not all the same. A plant that thrives in low light is not the same as thriving in indirect light. And yeah, I should have known better. Well, now I do know. For setups like mine where you are putting plants in corners or areas where not a ton of light will hit, make sure to get low light plants. I really like the aesthetic of these gasterias and zebra succulents, plus they're really easy to maintain. You water them once every 2 to 3 weeks. Fake plants are another solution. I know people dog on them for being tacky, but if you do it right, such as blending them in with real plants, I think they actually look okay. So we are always seeing these incredibly aesthetic setups where everything is curated to match a specific aesthetic. And mine mostly falls in that boat too, but don't forget to add things that makes your setup uniquely yours. My side desk contains little parts of me that people can easily identify as, well, me, such as my hobbies, personalized artworks from friends, and memories with the people I cherish most. To be honest, I don't really have a 10th hack. I just thought 10 is like a nice round number. But if I had to come up with something, I'd say be proud of your space. It's yours. Sure, there's always something that could be different or improved, but if you're always comparing your space to others you see online, then that's truly a never-ending race. Be proud of what you put together, because you own it. Your space is a reflection of everything that you have accomplished up until that point, and an extension of who you are. With that being said, hopefully these tips were extremely helpful in your desk setup journey. This video was a little more straightforward than my usual ones, but I figured a change of pace is never a bad idea. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next film.